This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Please welcome the star of the show, your host, Mike DJ Kelly.
And here he is, the star of the show, wearing his loose-fitting two-piece construction pyjamas consisting of a button-down jacket and matching trousers with contrasting piping on the collar, cuffs and pocket edges for a classy, tailored look. It's the star of the show, Mr. Mike DJ Kelly, with episode 101 of the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast, and the special Taxes on Everything edition.
So what's in the show? Anything exciting? It is show 101. Are we using the magic of AI for the voices or graphics?
No, Joyce, I'm finding the AI disappointing. It has a false feel to it. It's just you and me. None of that fancy jiggery-pokery.
Jiggery-pokery? What's that when it's at home?
Back to the script.
On this week's podcast.
Coming up, my amazing digital friend Joyce, fake showbiz news, recommend a pod, charities, cigarettes, taxes, Windfarms, King's speech, moon landings, plus lots of stuff you don't know until you know.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
I'm Mike Kelly with the latest Shorter Than Short news. Our top story, UK vets accused of price fixing in animal scan scam, where x-rays of pets are costing more than they do for humans. New survey shows public thinks petrol stations just charge what they think they can get away with at specific locations. Virgin Atlantic recently added fuel surcharges, so its fares are up £50 in economy and up to £360 in upper class. Thailand resident and crypto billionaire Christopher Harborn gives $5 million to Clacton Man in no-strings-attached deal. King's speech gives local mayors in England powers to levy tourist taxes on overnight stays. New survey shows Richmond sausages were ahead of the game with their reduced meat content and use of other ingredients instead of meat. Ian Lee, funny man and TV presenter, will come to your house and perform for just £350. That's it, you're up to date with all the news that is news this hour. I'm Mike Kelly for STS News.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Have you seen or heard that radio and TV commercial about giving up smoking and that every cigarette shortens your life by 20 minutes? My Aunt Alex smoked all her life and lived to be 90-something. Wow, if she hadn't have smoked, she'd still probably be with us here now. Mind you, it's just a stat. For a moment, I nearly went out and purchased an electric car that did 200 miles on a full charge. One of my daughters lives 200 miles away, so it would be touch and go, but when I check the stats, it refers to one person in the car at a certain ambient working temperature. If you drive fast on motorways with passengers in, with the heater and radio on, the mileage is much less.
Yabba-dabba-dabba-doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
And what's out there on the social media sites? Drixie Lee. UK food prices are expected to rise by 50% since the start of the cost of living crisis in 2021. Meanwhile, taxpayers continue to pay for MPs and peers to have access to bars and restaurants at cheaper prices than the rest of the country. Dick Payne's Lads channel, the Royal Navy HMS Iron Duke, has been quietly withdrawn from service. Weapons and sensors stripped. No sea time since October 2025. Just 3 years after a £103 million 49-month refit. Despite spending over 5 years in dry dock undergoing the most complex Type 23 frigate refurbishment on record, she managed a mere 16 months of operational availability before being sidelined. Laura Marcus, I'm a pensioner, so I benefit from the triple lock. I get the full state pension, which is £965 every 4 weeks, so equivalent to £1,045 a month. I get the full amount because I have 50 years of working and paying my stamp and income tax. I get no other pension. It's not a luxury. Yesterday's Britain, a better Britain, a car tax disc from 1982 for 6 months at £38.50, a gallon of petrol £1.60, a pint of beer cost 61p, a pint of milk cost 20p, a 22-inch colour TV cost £300, average house price was £33,000, a Ford Cortina cost £4,200, 6 eggs cost 40p, the average annual salary was £5,000. Victoria, I genuinely think if we all moved to a 4-day working week, it would change the course of society. People would be happier, healthier, less angry, more present. I really think it would change the world. Old salty marine, I don't know who needs to hear this, but the best part about being in your mid to upper 70s is that we did all our crazy and stupid shit before the invention of camera phones, so there's no proof.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
It's not my fault you've ended up listening to this. Blame the algorithm or AI. But while you're here, why not tell a friend or two about the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast show and show them where they can access it, and we can get them listening as well. Go to coffee.com/Mike DJ Kelly. Any money raised goes to charity.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
With the cost of electric, it's looking more attractive to fit solar panels on the roof. The average price for a 3-bedroom house with solar panels and battery from Octopus Energy is £7,500. All done, giving you energy to use and some to sell.
If everybody has solar sun panels, will that use up too much of the sun and it will start to get dimmer the more people that do it? We won't be able to sunbathe anymore as the sun will not be bright enough to make us tan. What will happen to all the pub beer gardens? What about the outdoor swimming pool at Ilkley? What's going to happen to all these things?
No worries there's enough sun for everybody.
That's what they say, but petrol that's running out and coal and North Sea gas have gone.
That's why we're talking about it. They're even talking about self-powered cars, powered by solar panels built onto them. There's an American company taking deposits for their new car, due soon, which will do about 40 miles on pure sunlight. And China's BYD have developed a new blade battery which charges in minutes and goes for 1,000 miles. They're starting to use easily available sodium in batteries rather than lithium.
40 miles, so you drive there and it's 30 miles and then it clouds over. How are you going to get home? So an American company taking deposits. That's a bit like Trump taking $100 deposits on the mobile phone he's supposed to be making, taken over $5 million so far.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
And in our We Want Him on the Telly spot this week, Adrian Edmondson, born 1957 in Bradford, is a celebrated English comedian, actor, writer and musician, and husband of Jennifer Saunders. Best known for his role in the pioneering 1980s alternative comedy, he rose to fame as the anarchic student punk Vivian in The Young Ones, and co-starred with Rick Mayall in the cult sitcom Bottom, pioneering a chaotic slapstick style. He also founded the punk band The Bad Shepherds, which won awards for their unique style. We want him back on the telly. Joyce, anything from you on TV?
When I was young they always had movies on with people sinking or getting stuck in quicksand. I have not seen it in a program for ages. Has the issue gone away? Has the government fixed it? Have all the quicksand sites been filled in?
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
A German tourist has won a payout of more than £850 after he was unable to secure a sun lounger due to other guests reserving them with towels. The man, who was on holiday in Kos with his family, said he spent 20 minutes a day trying to find a sun lounger despite waking up at 6 a.m. He then sued the tour operator for allowing the reservation system, arguing the sunbeds were reserved so often they were unusable. Judges at a district court in Hanover ruled in his favour. The man had initially paid £6,211 to take his wife and their 2 children on the package holiday to Kos. Remember when iPads came out and David Hockney started using them to create some great art? Will he now use AI, or is that a step too far? Well, a bit more research and he already has. In June 2023, he debuted his first AI-assisted artwork, a 1-minute video titled Lived in Bohemia, Bohemia is a Tolerant Place, which was displayed on the screens of the Glastonbury's Festival Pyramid stage. I noticed the latest Cotton Traders summer brochure contains 60 pages of women's clothes and 6 pages of men's. Evian, the upmarket mineral water, but what does it spell the other way round? Yes, naive. This is a frequently cited observation, often used in popular culture and social media to jokingly imply that consumers are naive for paying for premium bottled water. Origin: the brand name actually originates from the town of Evian-le-Bon in France. Today's special offer is the awesome Acme Woofer, a clever gadget that lets you talk with man's best friend. Yes, you can talk to your dog in a language he will understand. Simply say the command, "Come here, Rover." Press the button and it will convert it into dog language. It even works the other way round. The dog can talk to you. It woofs. You press a button and hear what it says. "Dad, can we go out for a walk?" Soon, you and your dog will be communicating on a daily basis about politics, TV shows and biscuits. Full details on how to order your awesome Acme Woofer at the end of the show.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Today's do-gooders are the Florence-Nightingale-Foundation.org.uk. The Florence Nightingale Foundation supports nurses and midwives to promote health, improve care and save lives. As a UK-based charity, we are working across the UK and internationally to reach 1 million nurses and midwives by 2027. Experience shows us the transformation that is possible when FNF enables nurses and midwives to connect, lead and influence health care. Florence Nightingale Foundation's focus is on improving health, clinical outcomes and patient experience through building nursing and midwifery leadership capacity and capability. We do this by enabling nurses and midwives to access sophisticated leadership development opportunities both in the UK and overseas, tailored to their participants' needs. We also work to convene and support nurses and midwives to shape the health and care policy agenda and create a future where nursing and midwifery perspectives are valued and policies are informed by our profession's evidence, expertise and needs. We are a voice for the nursing and midwifery professions. Find out more, join in and help at the Florence-Nightingale-Foundation.org.uk.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Today's music quiz features a 1974 hit. What's the song and who performed it? You've got your mother in a whirl. She's not sure if you're a boy or a girl. Hey babe, your hair's all right. Hey babe, let's go out tonight. You like me, I like it all. We like dancing and we look divine. Name the song or the group, or both?
I'm not playing, I never get the answer right. Leave me alone, I'm making some show notes in my feeler facts.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
And in our helpful tips corner, following JCB's £200,000 donation to Reform, we should like to point out that top alternatives to JCB diggers, particularly in the midi excavator markets, include Kubota, Takuchi and Volvo for reliability and precision, while Cat and Case are strong competitors for backhoe loaders.
Sorry, but it was Mike DJ Kelly. What did you expect?
Since March 1st, 2020, Luxembourg has offered free public transport nationwide, becoming the first country in the world to do so. The policy covers all buses, trains and trams, allowing both residents and tourists to travel without tickets. It's considered a success. Acting as a laboratory for mobility, it has increased ridership by 30%, reduced traffic congestion and lowered carbon emissions.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
Can't help but feel the nationwide takeover of Virgin Money is going to go pear-shaped and lead to some scams. They tell us Virgin Money people that we're now part of Nationwide and nothing will change and everything is still worded as Virgin Money. We'll wait and see.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
If you're new to the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast, you can still get to hear all previous episodes just by searching or shouting the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast. You can also catch me on BCB 106.6 FM on a Tuesday at midday. That's at bcbradio.co.uk.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
So go on, what will they tax next? I'm guessing it's going to be a tax on private home-run solar panels. They'll not like you getting cheap energy and them not getting any of their tax from it. Are we paying more tax than ever? Indeed we are. The UK tax burden is at the highest level in decades, with overall tax revenue exceeding 37% of GDP. This is the highest level since the 1940s, driven by frozen tax thresholds that pull more people into higher bands, alongside increased taxes on savings and dividends. Then there's all the other taxes we're paying, increased fuel, energy, rent and food prices. As they go up, so does the government taxes on said products. And spare a thought for single people, just one wage to pay all the bills. When there's two of you, the bill's half. Food and cooking and sharing a bath, it's all cheaper. Have food banks become the norm? You expect them to be there in every community. It used to be just a few of them where the need for food was difficult in our poorest areas. Now it's just the norm for working people to use them because they can't afford to shop. Anything from you, Joyce?
You can pick wild garlic for free, but you are not allowed to dig up the roots without the owner's permission.
Joyce tells it as it is.
More from the social media site. Rick Wakeman, CBE, at the polling station, an elderly lady presented her polling card only to be told she couldn't vote because she didn't have photo ID. She did not have a passport or driving licence, but had a utility bill with her address and credit card with her signature. She was 89. Magic Mike, 1972. Once you give up refined sugar and processed foods, you realise how little there is to buy in supermarkets. Anna Zavaris. I'm kind of amused that Charles and Camilla came and said whatever they wanted, knowing full well their hosts were too stupid to understand any of it. Environmentalist Bro, producing one cotton shirt requires 2,700 litres of water. That's enough to satisfy one person's drinking water for over 2.5 years. This industry is not sustainable.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
Fake Showbiz News at Fake Showbiz News. Jane McDonald says her favourite Lana Del Rey song is the one about how her boyfriend's a massive pillock, but she still loves him. Lots of us northern lasses can relate to that, she chuckled. Gabby Roslin admits even she gets herself mixed up with Gabby Logan. Billy Piper says, has anyone noticed all the best groups are formed by former journalists? Pet Shop Boys, Saint Etienne, Gay Dad, the list is endless, she told reporters. Lady Gaga says while the recent Artemis moon mission may have filled some people with hope, it had the opposite effect on her. If it still takes that much faff just to pop to the moon, there's no way we're making it to Mars, she told reporters. The Pussycat Dolls called for a ban on concert venue websites showing buyers how many tickets remain unsold. It's disrespectful to artists, said Nicole Scherzinger.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Have you noticed on supermarket adverts on TV, they always have checkout operatives at the till, yet when you go to the supermarket, there are less and less of them. Lotus at the local co-op, it's introduced self-service at all their tills. Went to pay, an employee came over and asked if I wanted to use the self-service till. I said no, so they went behind the till and served me. I think I would go for it if they offered an incentive like 10% off for self-service. That's not 10% on for staff serving you, but a genuine saving of 10% if you have to do the work. Anyway, next time I went in, member of staff calling for backup over a radio as the man at Till 2 had threatened her. He said she was too close watching him scanning his shopping.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
I see that TV is showing the worst of their adverts at the moment. Funeral plans, ill and dying animals, kids needing surgery, hospices and Lenore adverts. All in the aim of making you sign up to their advert-free services. If only they had somebody on their team who had to watch for shows and adverts, they'd soon pick up on the fact that when an advert you don't like comes on, you change channel or turn the TV off. It's not rocket science.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
I reckon the business to be in at the moment is in scaffolding. A few scaffolding poles, planks and ladders and you're off. They're needed for any work these days. Roofs, chimneys, TV aerials, guttering, windows, anything above 2 foot off the ground, you'll need to rent scaffolding at £400 a day. So do we think the petrol stations are ripping us off? Petrol stations charge different prices for fuel based on location, primarily due to local competition, operating costs and convenience factors. Stations in high traffic areas like motorways or remote locations charge more, while areas with high competition such as nearby supermarkets typically offer lower prices to attract customers. Thinking back, it's quite scary that at 18, my parents let me rewire their house. No issues at all. It went okay. But just thinking about it scares me now. Different times.
Live across the universe, it's the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast.
Don't forget my pod-picking friends if you want to get in touch about anything to do with the Shorter Than Short podcast show. Please use the following to contact us, and if you have any stories, gossip, jokes or anything for the next episode, do connect and follow Mike DJ Kelly on most social media sites. Don't forget you can always buy us a coffee. Go to coffee.com/Mike DJ Kelly. Any monies raised go to charity.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
Guess the celebrity, born Gaynor Hopkins, 8th of June 1951. She came to prominence with the release of her 1977 album, The World Starts Tonight, and its singles Lost in France and More Than a Lover. In the 1980s, she ventured into rock music with songwriter and producer Jim Steinman. He wrote her biggest hit, which was the lead single from her 1983 UK chart-topping album, Faster Than the Speed of Night. Rocks and Honey was released in 2013 and featured the single Believe in Me, which she performed representing the United Kingdom at the Eurovision Song Contest 2013 in Malmö, Sweden. Her work has earned her 3 Grammy Award nominations and 3 Brit Award nominations, amongst other accolades. Who is she? Okay, next, and it's Recommend a Pod, and for this week it's Help My Website Sucks. It's your bite-sized guide to making web design easier, hosted by freelance web designer and top cow at 2 Cows Web, Amy Gumbrell. Each 15-minute episode will take one topic, break it down into easy-to-understand language, and show you how it all fits together, so that you can go away and make a website that works for you. Have a listen, search for Help My Website Sucks podcast.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
And in our Something You Don't Know spot, you might not know, but the Isle of Man is a tax haven. Yes, the Isle of Man. It's widely considered a low-tax jurisdiction or tax haven, often described as an international finance centre. It offers 0% standard corporate tax rate, no capital gains, inheritance or wealth taxes, and a top income tax rate of 22%. While it maintains international transparency standards, its policies are designed to attract mobile wealth. Lots of names we know have been associated with Isle of Man schemes: Lewis Hamilton, Gary Barlow, Michelle Mone and Doug Barrowman, Alog Tinkoff, several stars from Mrs. Brown's Boys, Nigel Farage and Mr. Blobby. And staying with far-flung places, Finland is world-renowned as the happiest country in the world, a title it's held for multiple consecutive years due to its high quality of life, safety and top-tier education system. But here's a fact you may not know. Finland has successfully reduced homelessness by employing a housing-first approach since 2008, which prioritises providing permanent stable housing as a foundational human right rather than reward for solving issues like addiction or unemployment. By 2026, this strategy has nearly eradicated long-term homelessness.
You mentioned earlier about running out of fuel and energy, but as Bob Dylan used to say, the answer is blowing in the wind. As of mid-2026, Hornsea 2 in the UK North Sea is recognised as the world's largest operational offshore wind farm, powering over 1.4 million homes. Hornsea 3, under construction once completed, Hornsea 3 is expected to become the world's largest single offshore wind farm, with a capacity to power over 3 million UK homes.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
If you want to get in touch with this top-rated and sometimes much-listened to podcast, please connect and get in touch about anything to do with the Shorter Than Short podcast. We're on most social media sites at MIKEDJKELLY. Indeed, if you want podcast making for your business or need any help with radio producer or presentation work, travel news, voiceover work, podcast editing, please do get in touch. Do tell your friends about the podcast. All they need to do to find it is search on Google for the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Does the shareholder business model work, where all decisions are based on the shareholder and their returns on their investments? I'm not sure it does. It's too easy to make computer-calculated business models. In the old days, it was having a gut feeling that something would work and be successful and backing it until it did.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
Following the recent elections, is it about time we had a culling of MPs and politicians? Why do we need so many in the UK? If the UK is short of cash, let's get rid of these people. If you need evidence as to why we should do it, watch BBC Question Time from the 8th of May 2026 and see how rude and shouty they all were. As of May 2026, there are 650 paid MPs, that's Members of Parliament, in the UK House of Commons, all of whom receive a basic salary of £98,599, and that's just the start. They get free energy, transport, second homes, subsidised food and drink. It's probably nearer £500,000 per MP, so that's around £325 million to start. The MPs who get paid are not just the current government's MPs, but all MPs in office. In addition to ministers, the government often includes ministers' parliamentary private secretaries, trade envoys, making the total payroll much higher. On top of that, there are around 19,000 council seats. The money they get is intended to cover time, expenses, and to ensure they're not out of pocket. The basic allowance often ranges between roughly £5,000 and £15,000, depending on the council size. With additional special responsibility allowances, SRA, for roles like cabinet ministers, you can bet they all have a few SRAs to boost their incomes. Seems to me there are too many on big money. Bring down the money so only people interested in politics will go for it, instead of just making it into a money pit, attracting all the wrong types. Maybe we need MPs who come from a business background, similar to the ones they'll be making decisions for.
Yabba dabba dabba doo, it's the Mike Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast for you.
You might not know this, but there is a campaign to reinstate Pluto as a planet. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman has initiated a high-profile campaign in April 2026 to reinstate Pluto as a planet, citing a desire to challenge the 2006 classification of it being a dwarf planet.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.
If you find yourself in a debate questioning whether man first stepped on the moon on the 20th of July 1969, the chances are you're woefully unprepared. Some claim the US government faked Apollo 11 and later missions either to deal a crucial blow to the USSR in the space race or to boost NASA funding to divert attention away from the Vietnam War. Need evidence the moon landings happened? Well, the NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, the LRO, takes high-resolution pictures of the lunar surface from a low orbit. During its mission, it's captured the landing sites and the abandoned descent modules and rovers from the Apollo missions, and its resolution is so good, it's picked up the dark squiggly paths that the astronauts' footprints made. Spacecraft from China, India and Japan have also spotted these landing sites, providing further independent verification of the landings. The final nail in the coffin of the moon hoax theories is a simple instrument installed 50 years ago by Apollo 11. During the day on the moon, Armstrong and Aldrin planted a lunar laser ranger reflector array on the surface. It's still operational today and allows us to reflect lasers off it and measure the distance to the moon down to the centimetre.
This is the Shorter Than Short Mike Kelly podcast.
And in the late news, Tony Blair calls for state pensions to be abolished and replaced by a lifespan fund. King's speech gives civil aviation bill new powers in a bid to support airport expansion. Trump is demanding Zambia hands over its minerals or they will stop sending medical aid. Government officials hugely underestimate impact of data centres on UK carbon emissions. The rise of ghost owners means there are 18,000 UK vehicles in use without proper records.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kelly. You are out of time. You must stop now.
Okay, it's time to go. Guess the song or name the group who had a hit with the song these lines are from. You got your mother in a whirl. She's not sure if you're a boy or a girl. Hey babe, your hair's all right. Hey babe, let's go out tonight. You like me and I like it all. We like dancing and we look divine. Name the song or the group or both in a 1974 style, David Bowie and Rebel Rebel. Guess the celebrity. Born Gaynor Hopkins, 8th of June 1951, she came to prominence with the release of her 1977 album The World Starts Tonight and its singles Lost in France and More Than a Lover. In the 1980s, she ventured into rock music with songwriter and producer Jim Steinman. He wrote her biggest hit, which was the lead single from the 1983 UK chart-topping album Faster Than the Speed of Night. Rocks and Honey were released in 2013 and features the single Believe in Me, which she performed representing the United Kingdom at the Eurovision Song Contest 2013 in Malmö, Sweden. Who is she? Gaynor Hopkins, better known as Bonnie Tyler. Today's do-gooders are the Florence-Nightingale-Foundation.org.uk. And guess what? It's been a blast, but that's enough for this special Taxes on Everything edition of the crazy Shorter Than Short podcast show. From me, Mike Kelly.
Kisses and hugs from me, Joyce.
Thanks for listening, and remember, you can always find the podcast by searching or shouting the Mike DJ Kelly Shorter Than Short podcast.
Your host, Mike DJ Kelly.
This is the Shorter Than Short podcast with Mike Kelly.